What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's episode of the Sports Sermon. We are here to do our NBA Mock Draft 2018 edition. I'm Jason Gandhi, your host today. Alongside me is Dan Majors, Michael Bailey, Zach Munson, and Dylan Staggy. You can follow us on Twitter at the Sports Sermon Sports with a Z. You can follow me on Twitter at jgandhi2425. Dan on Twitter at dmajors44. Michael on Twitter at MikeyB with 3 underscores. At Zach Munson 3 for Zach, and then finally Dylan with at Staggy Dylan. Like I said, we are doing a mock draft today. Like I said again, I will be your host. This is how it's going to go down. I will introduce what team is picking and who is making the selection. From there, that person will explain why they made that selection and who, obviously. Then we will discuss it. What do we think? Was it good, bad, etc.? But before we get started with the Phoenix Suns on the clock, earlier today there have been 3 trades already made. Myself and Dan Majors made the first trade of the day to get the ball rolling. I, as the Kings, traded Willie Cauley-Stein, pick 37, and the 2020 protected first round by a top 3 protection. And I got back pick 10 and Jared Bayless. So I went to try to get a second top 10 pick to really get this Kings rebuild in full force. Then a few hours later, we got a trade between Dylan and Michael. Dylan traded Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, and pick 27, and Michael gave up pick 4. And then finally, right before the podcast started, blockbuster trade. Kawhi Leonard finally gets moved. He is traded to the Sixers for Markelle Fultz, Dario Saric, picks 26, 36, and 39. So, if you have thoughts on those are all been tweeted out. Make sure you go comment on the Sports Sermon on Twitter. Like I said, we're going to get going. The show can be found on Periscope, Soundcloud, iTunes, and YouTube. So, let's do it. The first pick will be the Phoenix Suns, and that'll be taken by Dylan Staggy. So, Staggy, take it away.
All right, so with the first overall pick in the 2018 Sports Sermon mock draft, I'm going to go with Luka Doncic.
Oh, man.
So, Luka, he's my number 1 prospect. I absolutely love Luka. You can say the Suns need a center. Obviously they do, but they also need someone to distribute the ball to Devin Booker and Josh Jackson. And so they also have the Slovenian team head coach Igor Kakashkov. I don't know if I said that right, but he was Luka Doncic's coach. So, Suns number 1 overall, taking Luka Doncic.
So there you go. Dylan Staggy making the first pick. He, as discussed on the big board, had him number 1 overall, so not surprised there. What do we think, guys?
I mean, I think all of us in unison, we'd all take DeAndre Ayton. Yeah. But, I mean, he likes him. He likes Doncic, so...
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre is who the Suns are going to pick. And I don't think it's a bad pick for the Suns. They need a center too, but I just think that a point guard could be more useful for them.
I mean, personally with me, I had Doncic at 6 on my big board.
I had 5.
Simply because I would rather pick the blue blood college players that I've seen play. So I don't know enough about Luka Doncic. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really seen him play a ton. Seen some highlights, him hitting a 1-foot 3-pointers.
Yeah, everyone looks good in highlights.
But I mean, I'm going with Ayton or Bagley. I mean, the blue blood players. Those are my top 2 players on the board. But I mean, if you like Doncic that much, I'm not gonna be terribly mad at you. But I'd go with Ayton or Bagley.
I can promise you I'm not mad because I now have the second pick in the draft, and that'll be taken by the Sacramento Kings. So, here I got a trade offer from the 76ers to trade from number 2. I told the 76ers that it was untouchable, especially because my scouts told me that there was a pretty good chance the Suns would be taking Luka Doncic, and so I felt confident in the chance to get my number 1 overall prospect in DeAndre Ayton, and that's the decision that I will be taking. I will be going with DeAndre Ayton of the Sacramento Kings. What do you think, guys?
That's a great pick. Great value.
Yeah. Got the best player in the draft at number 2.
I appreciate the love. All right, let's keep it rolling to the third pick in the draft, which will be taken by Zach Munson with the Atlanta Hawks.
I mean, I'm going to take my favorite player in the draft, Marvin Bagley. I think he's a future Hall of Famer.
Whoa.
I put that in my big board.
Yep.
I mean, I love him. He can really do honestly it all. He could get better at his jump shot and 3-point shot, but I think he can develop that. You know, he's 6'10", 235. He was just so dominant at Duke, and I think he has zero bust factor. So
Zero bust factor.
All
zero
right.
bust chance, yeah.
So Munson goes with Marvin Bagley III. Someone we did not expect to get all the way down to 3. It's been shaken up. Do we like the fit with Bagley in Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can play alongside John Collins. They've got a couple good bigs there now, and now with Schroeder wanting a trade out, they're going to have to figure out that guard situation, but a couple of nice bigs to start their rebuild around.
I'm personally worried about their defense. Bagley is probably top 3 worst defender in this draft, and I think his offensive upside definitely makes it valuable. I was going to take him at 2 until Doncic was taken, but I just am worried about their defense. Collins is an okay defender, and Bagley is very not even close to average. You're going to have to hide him. I think you play Collins at the 5 and then Bagley at the 4, which then if you're playing a stretch 4 team, I'd be very concerned if I'm the Hawks. But I guess since it is the Hawks, they've got a lot of time to figure that out with the rebuild.
I mean, Bagley's athletic enough to learn how to play good defense. Like, I'm not worried about that.
I mean, he's 19. He should have learned it the first 18 years. I mean, I know what you're saying, but like,
he will be a good defender.
I think it is worse than we've seen in most prospects. Like, if you're a bad defender, it's like whatever, they'll figure it out. But like, he is like a terrible defender. Like, it is worse than just like bad. Like, he is just a horrible defender. It's just something that concerns me. But I love Bagley. I said it on the big board. You pointed him out more. I just was like, hey, he's all right. Like, probably top 5. And then Zach, you called out how good he was. I watched some more tape, and I think definitely someone that you're getting a value in at number 3. Let's keep it moving. Number 4, the Memphis Grizzlies. But like I said, it was traded. So it was supposed to be Michael Bailey taking over the Memphis Grizzlies. But now Dylan Staggy giving up Jaylen Brown and Terry Rozier to make this 4th selection.
Yeah, so with the 4th pick in the draft, as the Boston Celtics, I will select Mo Bamba.
Dang.
So Mo Bamba, I have him at number 2 on my big board. I love Mo Bamba. He's already going to be a solid defender. He's 7 feet tall. He has a 7'10" wingspan and has a ton of offensive potential. He's been working on his shot. He can get to the bucket. And with that 7'10" wingspan, he's just going to be a shutdown defender at least. So
yeah, how is that possible? A 7'10" wingspan. I think it's just crazy. But
yeah.
I question I don't know. I think when you look at the Celtics roster, I don't know if Bombo is the best fit there because you just got rid of your starting shooting guard and your backup point guard, so now you have like little guard depth. If Kyrie gets hurt again, which he has a tendency to almost, what are you gonna do with the guard position? And now you just got a lot of forwards. You've got centers in Horford, Baines, and now Bamba, and then you got forwards of Tatum and Hayward. And I guess I'm just wondering, what are you thinking at the guard position? Who's gonna play up at 2, and then what happens if Kyrie gets hurt?
Yeah, I mean, we'd also have to address that later in free agency. Get some guards to come play with the team. Obviously, the Celtics we're going to be very good next year. So hopefully we can get some guys on minimum contracts that want to come and play with the team. Plus, getting Bamba, looking down the road, it gives a chance to get rid of Horford at some point because obviously Horford's getting older. He's definitely a solid player, and he'll probably stay for 1 or 2 more years. But then we could possibly get rid of him and get rid of his big salary and get some more guards on the roster.
All right. Anyone else have a comment? Are we ready to keep moving?
I mean, the trade was kind of iffy on my part.
I agree with that. I just think you're really depleting this roster. Now you have to sign Marcus Smart, but is Smart worth the number 2 pick? Michael, what do you think? You're the one that gave up number 4. Why'd you do it?
I pretty much robbed him blind. I didn't want to tell him that when I made the trade.
I agree.
I think for a Grizzlies team that, is not good, I think I got 2 solid players in Rozier and Brown. And, the 4th pick, although it's the 4th pick in the draft and you're going to get a top 4 player, there's a lot of concerns in Mo Bamba not wanting to come play for Memphis, Michael Porter Jr. with his injury, and just I felt like getting 2 solid players that are already developed is the best move for our franchise.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good fit for the Grizzlies because now you've got, you look at it 2 versus 1. You hope these guys turn into a guy like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, the 3rd pick just a few years ago. You hope that Bamba turns into that. He might be a bust and you just got to steal. So I think definitely a great trade, especially for the Grizzlies. We'll see if it works out for the Celtics. Let's keep it moving. The first person to draft for their favorite team and the first time making a pick, it'll be Dan Majors selecting for the Dallas Mavericks.
At number 5, I got my Mavericks taken. Jaren Jackson. I think that's kind of the obvious pick here as the top 5 is tier 1. I wanted Mo Bamba because I have him 3rd on my draft board. But Jaren Jackson at 5, a great defender. Probably the best defender in the draft and best pick available right there.
All right, so Jackson falls to 5. He's known for shooting his 3-ball. Do we see a second Dirk? Only Dark? A dark Dirk?
No.
Dark Dirk.
Dark Dirk.
No, I do not see a Dirk in Jaren Jackson. But, he's a lot better. I think they're 2 totally different players.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Dennis Smith Jr. and Jaren Jackson. Good core.
Definitely.
Dallas is building. Let's keep it going. Number 6 will be drafted by the Orlando Magic, and that'll be back to Dylan. Dylan, your first pick for the Magic.
All right, so with the 6th pick in the draft as the Orlando Magic, I will be going with Michael Porter Jr. So obviously, there's been a lot of injury concerns with Porter, but I think his upside is definitely going to be worth it. He would be right there in tier 1, if not for the injuries. And as the Magic, you have to try to make something happen because it definitely hasn't for the last few years.
Man, that's a really good pick. I love Michael Porter Jr. He's number 3 on my big board. Obviously, he was number 1 player in the nation coming out of high school. And if it wasn't for that injury, he would have dominated college basketball. I'm not too worried about his injury. He said is feeling the best that it has been. He could be lying, but I'm going to trust him. And I do have a little concern for his injury, but I'm not too worried about it. I think he will be very special.
Yeah, see, I have Porter ranked 10th on my big board. I am not as high on him. I'm worried about his injury concerns. And for me, when I look at the Magic, I just feel like they cannot afford another risk. But if he pans out, you might be getting the steal of the draft. I wonder, why didn't you go Trae Young when they have such a terrible backcourt?
Michael Porter Jr. just has so much more talent than Trae Young. There's definitely some concerns with Trae Young's size. He obviously fills up the basket, but there's questions of what else he can really do. And last year's pick, we tried to draft a Ford and Jonathan Isaac, and he didn't really work out too well, so might already need a replacement for him.
He only played like 20 games. I wouldn't sell him short right now. But breaking news at the minute, as Dylan wraps up his draft pick with the Magic, Dan and Zach Munson have now stepped out of the draft room to discuss a trade. From what I've been told, it's between Cleveland and Toronto. I was told Portland might be getting in there instead of Toronto, but those are the teams getting discussed. We'll keep it moving, though, while they debate a trade. I am up with the Chicago Bulls. At number 7, I had 3 targets I was looking at. All 3 are available. I did try to trade back with Dan and the Sixers. Did not want anything. That was before the Kings made the trade. I tried to trade back with Dylan with the Clippers. He wasn't interested. But now I'm kind of glad I did. I got all 3 of my guys. I've got to pick at the 22nd. I think I'm going to go with my boy, the highest available prospect, in Wendell Carter Jr. with the number 7 pick. I think he's a beautiful fit next to Lauri Markkanen. Carter can play the 5, or you can put Markkanen at the 5, either or. Switch them back and forth. I think they're a great fit alongside each other. One bruiser, one sharpshooter. So I'm going to go with Wendell Carter Jr. for the Bulls.
Yeah, I like that big man duo for you, Jason, down there in Chicago. Carter's a solid player. The only thing I can say about Carter is maybe his upside isn't the greatest, and that's probably why he isn't in that tier 1 of big guys, but he can come in, probably even contribute right away, and be a solid piece for many years, at least for the Bulls.
Yeah, I think it's a great fit for the Bulls. And before we go to pick number 8, which is Cleveland and Zach Munson, let's see, do we have a trade, boys?
Who got pick 7?
I took Wendell Carter Jr. 7.
Oh, that was a terrible pick. I hate that guy. But
All right. Jeez.
I hate Wendell Carter. Let me explain myself.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so he's a post player in an NBA day where post players don't really have a spot in this league.
He's a modern NBA big.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, he can shoot,
all I
too.
saw
He's
is that.
a better shooter than Bagley.
Okay. I don't really like because the time that I saw him, he had nice post moves. Not gonna lie, but I saw him only in the post. I didn't see him, hitting a lot of threes, taking a guy off the dribble. I strictly saw him in the post, so I wasn't very impressed with him.
All right.
But I mean, I see his upside. He's athletic. I mean,
Opposite of what Dylan said. Dylan said no upside.
Yeah,
Likes where his game's at now. Zach says doesn't like where his game's at now. Likes his upside.
but I don't think he will reach his upside. Like I think he has some, but I don't think he's special.
Dylan.
I mean, I think he's definitely a bruiser kind of guy, like Jason said. Down in the post, he's going to work and get those rebounds, maybe do the things that aren't on the stat sheet at a minimum. I mean, but he definitely showed shooting potential. So
Yeah, he's number 10 on my big board.
That's right, Michael Porter Jr. When you
Yeah, I might even move Wendell lower than that. But yeah, so I'm up at number 8.
no trade was made.
No trade was made.
What fell through?
So I was offered C.J. McCollum for Kevin Love in the 8th pick, and I'm not taking that.
Why?
And then because I'm not going to give away Kevin Love and the 8th pick. I feel like it's giving up way too much for C.J. McCollum. I asked for Lillard and countered, and he said no. Then I was offered the OG Anunoby, but the Raptors for the 8th pick, and I said no to that.
Okay, so trade talks are not going well
Trade
between
talks,
Munson and Dan.
Yeah, not going well.
I don't think Zach's gonna accept one.
So
Wow, that's so
Terrible
tension.
trade.
I'm up at number 8. See, the Cleveland Cavaliers will select. Okay, this player offers. Right now, I don't think that LeBron James will stay, but I feel like this guy would maybe make LeBron want to stay. I'm going with Trae Young. Okay, Trae Young. So if he goes to the right team, he can be very special. If he goes to the wrong team, he could be a bust. So he's very risky. Obviously, he can shoot it from anywhere. Has struggled with having good shot selection, but he needs to improve that and his defense as well. But his ceiling, you can't really deny it. If everything goes right, his ceiling is, a little bit lower than Steph Curry. I mean, if everything goes right, maybe even Steph Curry. So I'm willing to take that risk, and maybe LeBron will see Trae Young and be like, I got some shooters around me, and the 3-point shot's just too viable in today's NBA.
See, I think if you would have taken McCollum,
Yeah, I'm not taking McCollum.
that would have influenced LeBron a lot more.
I agree. LeBron doesn't want to play with no young kids. I think that's the one reason the Lakers have to worry about getting LeBron because they're going to ship out all the young kids. I think LeBron's proven time and time again he doesn't want to play with young guys.
But you're also getting away Kevin Love. So, you're trading All-Star for
All-Star.
Was he an All-Star?
If not, he's
I don't think he was an
All-Star
All-Star.
caliber.
I don't think he was an All-Star. But then you're just looking at McCollum and LeBron. Are you really going to do anything? No, you're not. So, I think either way, LeBron's not.
LeBron and Trae Young, you're still not going to do anything.
With Kevin Love.
That's what he's saying.
I'd have to give away Kevin Love.
LeBron gone, dog. LeBron is
I know,
gone.
that's what I said. I said I think he will be gone, but Trae Young does both. He can maybe help LeBron stay. I got some shooters around me. And if not, we got him for the future.
All right.
Is he starting over George Hill?
That's actually a fair question.
I mean, if not game 1, then, year 2 he will. I'm really close between Trae Young and Colin Sexton. Who do you guys think is better? Sexton or Trae Young? Because I was really close between them.
In our big board, I have Young 8 and Sexton 13. It was not close. I do not like Sexton.
Yeah, 7 and 13 for me. Young at 7, Sexton at 13.
All right.
So let's keep it going. Number 9, the New York Knicks have been rumored at Mikal Bridges, rumored at Kevin Knox, rumored at getting a point guard. Michael Bailey, what are the Knicks going to do?
With the 9th pick of the 2018 NBA draft, the New York Knicks select Kevin Knox. All right, may not come as a surprise to most people. He's been rising up on most big boards. He's a good player. I think he has a high ceiling, and the Knicks kind of need all they can get. And I think he has star potential. And so the Knicks are going to get him hoping that he can reach that star potential.
I like that pick a lot, actually. I think he fits what the Knicks are trying to do, get a guy that can really be a second option next to Porzingis, and I think Knox fits that any opposition on that pick, guys? Are we good?
No, I like it. Gives the
Good.
Knicks a forward.
I like that. All right.
Solid.
Number 10 was this Philadelphia 76ers. Dan traded that away to me for Jared Bayless. I got him as well for Cauley Stein, 37 and a 2020 top 3 protected first rounder. So, at this number 10 spot, I have Gilgeous-Alexander as my highest prospect available. I have him at number 7, which would be good value here. My next highest is Miles Bridges and then Mikal Bridges. I went back and forth between these 3.
I mean, you traded away Markelle Fultz, right?
Me? I'm the Kings.
This is the Kings.
Oh,
This is
right,
the
right,
Kings.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they
It's
traded.
good. You're good.
Yeah, so I'm the Kings. I have De'Aaron Fox. I don't think Gilgeous-Alexander is a good fit next to him. So now I'm between the Bridges brothers. I'm going to go with Mikal Bridges, truly due to the
Ooh.
fit. I like Miles more, but I think Mikal's a better fit. A 3-and-D guy that gives Hield another option. Hield and Bridges another option for Fox to go to, along with a lob target in DeAndre Ayton. And me and my boy Vlade Divac are loving what we're building down in Sacramento.
Yeah, I like it. I'm happy I made the trade also now too because nobody in my big board fell. So I'm happy about that.
Good. I think it's a good trade for both of us. You get Willie Cauley-Stein, who can be a very productive piece to go alongside Joel Embiid.
Right.
Let's keep it moving. Number 11, the Charlotte Hornets, which is also me. And with this is where it gets interesting. I tried to get rid of Kemba. Don't tell Kemba. I tried to trade him to the Bucks. I offered Dan Chris Middleton, the 17th pick, and Thon Maker for Kemba Walker. Dan said no. So now that I have Kemba, do I go get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or do I take Miles Bridges? And now I know the Clippers are going to take either one. I feel like they both have those needs. Do I go? I think I'm going to roll with Miles Bridges.
Yeah,
I'm going to
good
give
pick.
Kemba a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Miles Bridges. Even though I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I just do not think he fits with the Hornets because of Kemba, and I think under a new coach, he's got a chance to shine. So, like I said, Miles
I think that was
Bridges.
the right pick.
Yeah,
Do you not like Shea?
I like Shai. I just think that, say with Kemba, that was the right
yeah.
pick.
I'm worried there's a lot of people at 3, though. You still got Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, you still got Nicholas Batum, you still got Marvin Williams, you can play the 3 or 4, and you add Bridges. I'm worried.
Yeah, but who's getting happy about Marvin Williams?
Exactly,
Like,
or any of
those
those
are
guys.
ridiculous.
Batum was
Like,
expensive, Williams expensive, and MKG's just didn't
Yeah,
pan
there's
out.
no but. I mean,
Yeah.
no one's going to the game just to watch them play. So.
Yeah, I think Bridges, I like it there. All right, 12 and 13 will both be owned by Dylan. Dylan, this has been rumored to get traded a lot. Do we have a trade?
Is anybody offering anything?
I don't think
All
so.
right, all right.
Seems pretty quiet.
So I have 2 picks. With the 12th selection, I'm going to go with Lonnie Walker. I love Lonnie Walker. He's risen quickly up the draft boards this offseason. Obviously, he is pretty raw, but the Clippers have some other guards to play. We still have Patrick Beverly, Austin Rivers, assuming he opts in, possibly Milos Teodosic, and Tyrone Wallace, all guys where Lonnie Walker may not have to play right away, but I love his upside. And with the second pick, I would love to get a forward or possibly big man, but I just don't have anybody high enough on my big board right now. So for me, it's between Colin Sexton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I've got to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Colin Sexton is higher on my big board, but I don't think there's a lot of difference between the two. But again, the Clippers have a lot of guards to play in front of these guys, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just has too much potential to pass up on. At 6'6", with a 6'11" wingspan, he's definitely going to be the future of the point guard position at that height and wingspan. I mean, these point guards just continue to get bigger, and Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, I personally love the Gilgeous-Alexander pick. Like I said, I have him 7th in my big board. I absolutely love it. I think he's a great fit in the Clippers. You can sit behind a guy like Patrick Beverly, learn some defense, get his shot together. I do not like the Lonnie Walker pick. I had him 15th. I had 3 better prospects ahead of him. but I understand where you're coming from, and the Clippers need shooters instead of average wings, so I don't hate it.
I totally agree with Jason.
All right, let's keep it rolling. 14th is the Denver Nuggets, and that'll be picked by Zach Munson.
So, any trade offers or no?
Quiet for my teams.
All right. So I have Nuggets. I'm deciding between Robert Williams and my boy Dante DiVincenzo. See, I'm looking at the Nuggets roster. They got Paul Millsap and they got Jokic. So, I'm gonna see, and they also got a lot of solid players at forward and guard. They got I'm gonna go with Dante DiVincenzo.
Wow,
that's really early.
That is very
early, but I really like his play. I think he offers shooting. This is gonna surprise a lot of people. I like his shooting, his attitude, his defense, his playmaking ability, and like his clutch factor. So I'm taking Dante DiVincenzo early.
All right, I've got to ask the initial question. I think part of us are all thinking, why not Colin Sexton?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, why was it? Why were you?
About it. Yeah, I'm on the board. Yeah, I forgot on the board. I thought you were already taken. So, whatever. It's all right. We all make mistakes.
Wow.
But you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care. I am very confident in my pick, Dante DiVincenzo. I think he's gonna be really good. So,
wow.
You don't like Dante
This could be the start. I'm just surprised Sexton's. This could be the start of the Sexton slide because you go to the Wizards and Wall and Beal, you don't need him there. You go to the Suns. They just drafted a point guard, Doncic. I'm just looking at this from a Sexton perspective. He starts to fall. Do the Bucks need a point guard?
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, like Jamal Murray is like already at my point guard position, so he could play the two. But I feel like
I mean,
Jamal Murray is my point guard.
But like you drafted a guard, and so I feel like Sexton's the guy you'd go at point guard. I don't hate the DiVincenzo pick, but if you're gonna do that, trade
he's
down.
like really ball dominant, like Colin Sexton. So
I think I would have just traded down if I were you. Talk to a team like
no one wanted to
the Spurs or I don't know. I mean you could have offered it. Yeah, you could.
I'm not upset with having
I got you.
DiVincenzo. I like him.
All right, let's keep it moving. 15.
All right. For the 15th pick, the Washington Wizards select Robert Williams.
Love that.
I was going to trade this pick away if the Nuggets got him at 14, but they did not. Thankfully, they went with DiVincenzo. The Wizards obviously need a big. I think they don't need guards at all. I mean, they've got Beal, they've got Wall. I mean, they're kind of set there, and so I think Robert Williams would be a good big to add to their team. Obvious pick there.
I obviously love that pick. I think that really fits the one hole that the Wizards had at that 4 position. I don't think Markieff Morris was ever going to be the answer. I think getting a guy like Robert Williams, who's such a boom or bust guy, if you get a boom there, I think the Wizards are right back in that conversation where they used to be a few years ago for being an Eastern Conference contender. Let's move. 16, the Suns. Best player available, obviously Colin Sexton. Suns have been rumored to getting Zaire Smith, Troy Brown, and any of those type of wings.
You got to get Sexton.
Come on,
Dylan,
don't do it.
Don't
do it. Don't do it,
Dylan.
Don't do it.
I don't know why he would. He just drafted a point guard in Doncic.
No, with the 16th pick, I have to go with Colin
Oh
Sexton.
my god.
He's the best player on the board currently, and I mean, you just can't pass up on him. I was thinking about Robert Williams, but he's off the board now, and I mean, you just can't pass on
I've
that
got
kind
to
of
get
talent.
the explanation on what you're going to do with Sexton and Doncic now. You can't play either of the two. You got Booker there. What do you see for Doncic or Sexton?
I mean,
That's why you get 8.
you can play multiple guards, like
you already
the
have a
Rockets
shooting
do. They have 2 distributors on their team. Colin Sexton, I think, can come off the bench and be a great 6-man. Doncic, I would play him at the 1, but he can move down to the 3 also. With
you have
Booker,
Josh Jackson at the 3.
he can move down to the 4 also. He can play some small ball here in Phoenix.
Who's your 5?
Bender, I mean, Len. There's guys that can
Wait,
play the 5.
move someone down to the 5.
Yeah, what happened to TJ Warren? He had his breakout year last season.
I mean, he can come off the bench
Move
too.
to 5.
So is
Remember-
Aiden starting?
remember, yeah.
What?
Move to 5.
Is Aiden starting or?
No, Aiden's not on the team.
Oh,
Grab Doncic.
I'm writing out the team. So you have Doncic, Booker, Jackson, Warren, whoever you want at center, Chandler, Len, or whatever.
You Marcus Chris too.
But if you put Sexton as a sixth man, so I think Chris coming off the bench, in my opinion. But you have Sexton as a sixth man. He's not a good enough scorer to be a sixth man. As a sixth man, you need scoring.
He's a
He's-
scorer.
yes, he's
What are you talking
definitely
about
a
not
scorer.
He's a scorer.
No, he cannot. He has not a great jump shot. Will not be able to get that very.
He put up like 40 when he was
Sexton
3 on
doesn't have a
5.
good jump shot. I agree with that, but
Thank
he can
you.
definitely.
He's
get to the
definitely a
rim.
scorer.
He can definitely get to the rim.
I would not want Sexton as my sixth man. So my question
Why would you not
was,
want him as a sixth
is
man?
what because if you can't shoot as a sixth man, you don't want to distribute it as your sixth man off the team. Sexton is a pass first point guard.
And who's a perfect
No.
6 man? Dante DiVincenzo. Actually, low key perfect.
It is because he's a scorer. DiVincenzo made a lot of sense for the Suns. A scorer off the bench,
Makes sense for Nuggets.
but they got Sexton. And so my question for you, Dylan, was: do you even think? I think this makes more sense logically. Do you put Sexton at the one, have Doncic come off the bench? And Doncic can score the ball, and he can lead.
No. Doncic.
That's what I'm saying. You just drafted the number one pick to be your sixth man now because you just drafted the two of the same.
I'm
player.
not putting Doncic on the bench. He is starting.
Would you look to trade Colin Sexton?
You've got to, yeah.
No.
No.
I mean, possibly if I get a good offer, but I like Colin Sexton as a sixth man.
I think it just surprised a lot of people that the Suns went with two ball dominant point guards when they have a glaring hole at center. 17 is the Milwaukee Bucks, and that will be Dan Majors. Been quiet for a while. Dan, what are you looking at 17?
I was just kind of looking to trade for Colin Sexton real quick, but
Real quick.
I don't know. I'm gonna keep the athletic freaks in the building in Milwaukee and go with Zaire Smith.
I love that pick.
I just think he's perfect for Milwaukee. So
My one concern is that he can't shoot
Yeah.
that well right now. I think he can develop that
I
potentially,
think he's got a lot of
especially in
potential.
Milwaukee. But I'm worried about how him and Giannis fit together. But in general, I love Zaire Smith as a prospect.
Yeah.
He's a Puma. One of the
Yeah.
3 million in this draft class. Any other comments, guys, on Zaire Smith going to the Bucks?
Solid pick. Again, he can be another guy that comes off the bench for the Bucks and do some damage.
All right.
Was he that guy who did the 360 dunk in the tournament?
I think so.
That was crazy. All right.
I know it was a guy in Texas Tech, so
All right.
probably.
Number 18, the San Antonio Spurs. Dylan Staggy with the pick.
All right, so I was looking at Zaire Smith with this pick, but obviously he is off the board now. I'm gonna go with, I'll go with Mitchell Robinson.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Wow.
Dylan, shit.
it's Mitchell, not David, right?
Yes, Mitchell. I think he's definitely a solid big guy. Obviously, he didn't play in college or anything this year, but he's an athletic freak and he has time to develop behind Gasol and Aldridge there in San Antonio.
Okay, there's a lot of good guards available. Like,
I'm not even worrying about the guards.
No, but like,
I want to know who your plan is at 2 and 3. You just got rid of Kawhi.
right?
You just, I'm just curious. What are you thinking at the 2 and 3 position? Danny Green, even if he does accept to come in.
I mean, I don't love the
Colors.
2s and 3s right
Troy
now.
Brown,
I'm not high on Troy Brown.
Kevin Huerter,
Yeah.
Jerome Robinson, one of the fastest rising guys.
No, I mean, I just don't really like any of them. I took a guy that I think can come in and potentially just the best athletic guy on the board.
Best athletic. I don't know about that.
Not the most athletic, the best. He's the best at being athletic.
All right.
All right. Michael, that was weird. Move on.
Multiple confusing picks as we got into these teens. Let's roll to number 19. It'll be Zach Munson selecting for the Atlanta Hawks.
So at 19, You know, my boy Dante DiVincenzo's off the board.
Yeah, you took him.
I know. That was a joke. See, I'm gonna go with. You guys are gonna make fun of me.
Oh no.
Sorry, we've had enough surprising picks already. We got 2 ball-dominant point guards on the same team. We got Mitchell Robinson before a lot of other players. We got Dante
Mitch Robinson's
DiVincenzo
like
going
terrible
14.
pick. He's like,
Yeah.
I mean, he has.
I'm just saying we got a lot of reaches already. We might as well. Like, I don't think you're gonna get made fun of for this one anymore.
I'm gonna go with. Actually, it's not a bad pick. I'm gonna go with Aaron Holiday.
That's a great pick.
I'm gonna go with Aaron Holiday. I was gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna go with Aaron Holiday, point guard at UCLA. You know, he averaged 20 points, 6 assists. So I'm going with Aaron Holiday.
Yeah, I like the pick,
Thank you.
especially if you're trying to trade Dennis Schroeder, who's apparently on the trade block right now. You need a replacement at that point guard position.
Okay, who else were you thinking of that was going to be bad?
It wasn't gonna be a bad pick. It was gonna be kind of like a reach.
Who?
He could have it in my next pick.
That's fair. That's fair. I respect that. All right, number 20. I'm back up with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't really love what we have at the big position. I like Towns. Don't love Gibson. Don't love Gorgie Jang. Don't love Justin Patton. But I think it's good enough to keep it. And at number 20, my guy's there, who I just think I can't pass on. The Timberwolves are known for not being able to shoot, and I think this guy is the best shooter in the draft. So I will be taking Kevin Huerter out of Maryland.
Wow.
I absolutely love this guy.
With that injury?
Yeah, I mean, it's only supposed to sideline in 4 to 6 weeks, so I'll miss him in Summer League. But I think he is a perfect fit for the Timberwolves. 3, especially, with a little bit of defense in him. And I just think that this could be what gives the Timberwolves to be a top 5, top 6 team in the West instead of being that 8th seed that barely got in. I really like Kevin Huerter. All right. Number 21 is the Utah Jazz. Zach, it is back to you.
It is back to me. Let's see. They need a point guard, but Aaron Holiday is taken. I'm gonna go with. This could be a reach. Anyone want to trade back? Let's go with Boston. Do you want to trade? I'll take your 27th pick.
That is owned by the Grizzlies now.
Grizzlies. Who's the Grizzlies? You're the Grizzlies.
I'm the Grizzlies.
Okay. What do you win? I'll give you this pick. I'll split the 27th pick.
Just straight up.
Now give me. This is tough.
The Grizzlies have the 32nd pick in this year's draft. If that helps.
Okay. So the 30s. I'll just pick someone, to be honest.
All right.
I'll go with Keita Bates Diop. All right. Plugging in my 3-4 position. He obviously can score. He's pretty lanky right now, but so he needs to bulk up a little bit. But I like the pick.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think people had him a little bit lower on theirs, but I think the fit makes sense, and I like Diop a lot, so I don't hate that pick. All right, we'll keep it moving. No real backlash there. With the 22nd pick, the Chicago Bulls are up. That's me, and this might be the easiest decision I have ever made. I was going to go Aaron Holiday and Mitchell Robinson, assuming this guy was not on the table. Both of them are gone. My guy is still there. I'll be taking Troy Brown of Oregon, 5-star prospect, 3-and-D. I think he fits fantastically in Chicago and fits this 2-3 mold in case we decide not to pay Zach LaVine or we just think Denzel Valentine and him can play together. I will be taking Troy Brown due to his extreme value and great fit with the Bulls.
I think that's a good pick.
I'm not super high on Troy Brown, but at the 22nd pick, I don't think it's bad at all.
All right. We are moving on to the 23rd pick, owned by Michael Bailey and the Indiana Pacers.
Well, I was looking at Dante DiVincenzo here, but He was drafted about an hour ago, so can't get him. So I decided to go with Jacob Evans here. I think he's a good wing player. He can shoot. He's athletic, and I think that's what the Pacers need right now. And I think he'd be a good fit with Oladipo. Can try to come off the bench and help their shooting hole that they lack.
All right.
No real feedback there.
I think it's a solid pick for the Pacers. Maybe a bit of a reach. I'm not super high on Evans, but in terms of need, I think he fills one for the Pacers.
Yeah, I like Dylan said. I think it's a bit of a reach. I'm curious is if you looked at DeAnthony Melton. I like him as a potential Pacer. I'm just curious on what you think on DeAnthony Melton.
I was thinking about him, but I think that the Pacers need a wing player like Evans that can shoot.
Do you see him replacing Bojan?
I don't know if it's much of a replacement. I think Evans is just more of a off the bench, like just depth that they need and shooting depth.
I'm with you. Okay, I like that actually
Because that's what they need.
Yeah. 24th pick is owned by the Portland Trailblazers, but Dan and Zach are in trade discussions again for the 24th pick. So while they are discussing a trade, my personal best overall prospects are Grayson Allen and Dazanon Musa. Dylan, what are your highest overall prospects?
Currently, I have Chandler Hutchison and Eli Okobo. I'm a big fan of Hutchison, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. He's a great scoring forward. And Okobo from France, he's a scoring point guard. So if you're looking for scoring, go for those two guys.
Yeah, I don't even have Hutchison on my board. I think it's similar to how you feel about Troy Brown. I feel about Hutchison, just not high on him. I think there are better options. There's one thing that is interesting. There's not many bigs available for a team. If they were looking to get a big, there are not many available. Wait, Dan, are you ready to make your pick?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't have a big on my big board left.
Yeah.
I think the closest would be a 3 in Dazanon Musa, but that's really about it.
Right,
I have Wagner at 28, but that's, again, the only one I have left. So.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to make my pick.
No trade?
I'm not going to do a trade.
What happened?
I don't really have much to trade, I guess. And, I can't pick a guard here because the Trailblazers don't need a guard. And so, I don't know. So, I got...
Well, what was the trade discussion?
Well, the Hawks really have no...
Yeah.
nothing to
I was
trade.
thinking John Collins, but I mean,
I'm not gonna give that,
he's not going to give me that. I was thinking Prince, maybe, but I don't know.
Bembry?
You want Bembry? He's pretty trash.
Really. Not really.
He's pretty bad.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jerome Robinson.
Good pick.
Yeah, he's been rising a lot. What's the reason for that?
They just like his workouts, I guess.
And I didn't hear about him at all during the college basketball season. I don't think any of us did.
He destroyed Duke one game.
He played a good game against Notre Dame. So.
That's not
Yeah.
much, though.
I mean, that's ACC competition.
All right.
I think it was like 30 points. He ended up beating Duke. So
Yeah, speaking of Duke, my Lakers are now picking 25th, and
Don't tell me to take Grayson Allen. Don't take Grayson Allen.
A Duke Blue Devil.
No!
He is my
Gary Trent!
He is my 20th overall prospect.
Trayvon Duval.
I absolutely love his game. I think he brings a swagger that the Lakers are missing to be able to just take
Coach
them
K.
above the next level. So with the 25th pick in the 2018 NBA mock draft, I am going to be taking Grayson Allen
Zion Williamson
for the Los Angeles Lakers. And like I said, I think he fits in beautifully. We have kind of a whole of the two. I just think Allen fits in great, and he had a great workout for us in LA. Absolutely loved him. Me and Magic thought that he's a great fit to help bring some swagger back.
That was a good pick.
Thank you.
I was in the Warriors were reportedly interested in taking him at 28.
Yeah, I think he is a good fit for the Warriors as well. He's got that swagger, and that swagger is so devastating, so important to a team.
Yeah.
All right, 26. The Philadelphia 76ers. Is that pick still there, or has that been traded?
It's the Spurs pick now.
Spurs pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back up, and I'm going to go with Chandler Hutchison. He is highest on my big board, and I think he has an NBA body. He's a great scoring forward. He dominated at Boise State. Obviously, that's not saying too much. He didn't play the best teams in that conference, but I think he has a lot of potential, especially at first to come off the bench and score the ball. But hopefully, eventually, he can become a nice forward piece for the San Antonio Spurs.
All right. I like that pick. I think it's interesting. I personally don't like Hutcherson, but I know you do. 27th to the Grizzlies.
All right. Well, it was reported the Grizzlies were gonna get him, but it's fine. Well, in the trade, they already got their point guard, they already got their wing, and so they're gonna get a shooter.
Okay.
Danzan Musa. Maybe that's how you say it, but they're gonna get him. Add some shooting to the team. Much needed.
All right.
I don't think that's how you pronounce the name.
Okay, it's fine.
It's close enough. It's not as bad as Ntilikina last summer. No one knew how to pronounce that.
Tilikana.
All right.
Okay, so 28 now goes to the Golden State Warriors, and I'd like to know who's picking.
I am picking Zach Monson.
Are you interested in trading?
What is your offer? I'm listening.
I don't really have a straight offer.
Okay, then why we're talking?
I'm just trying to gauge your interest here. What do you think about?
You want Steph Curry and Draymond Green? Deal.
I'm looking at this from what? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm looking at this from the Hornets' perspective.
Who do they have? You want to give me?
I'm not giving you a player. I'd offer you 55 in this year's
Really
draft,
okay.
and then also
55.
offer you not this year, but next year's. So that would be 2020's lottery protected first rounder.
So let me get this straight.
Lottery protected first rounder in 2 years, and our 55th pick this
So
year.
so that means
This is a
that
really stupid trade for the Hornets, but I have an idea.
so that means the Hornets.
It's just
have
not
to
make sense
be-
for anyone else. But I really
So it
want
means
this.
that the Hornets have to be in the lottery to keep that pick.
I get it unless it's out of the lottery. Then you get it.
So it means you'll get an unprotected one in 2021, right?
So
2022,
if the
yeah.
Hornets are in the lottery that year,
I get it.
you get it.
But if it's out of the lottery, you get it. And I don't.
Do I
think-
get something the next year after that? If it
You get second rounder the next year. No, you should get unprotected, right? You get unprotected.
next year.
unprotected.
The next year.
Well, you
Next
can protect
completely
another.
I mean, you can do whatever you
Hold
want.
on. So if you're in the
You can-
lottery,
yeah, you can
you
design the
keep that pick.
protection
Then,
however
so it's
you want.
2020, right?
Yep.
Then do I get a pick in the 2021 draft?
Yeah, you'll
Okay,
get my
that would
unprotected.
be, you can make that.
Unprotected first round pick.
I'll make that.
Yes.
Actually, I'll make that top 5
Yeah,
protected.
there you go.
I'll make that
Make
top
it
5.
top
Unprotected first round pick though.
Top 5 protected.
No, but the next year would be unprotected.
That
first round
unprotected second rounder. That flips
Unprotected
to
second round of the
If
following year?
they
Oh my god!
if you miss,
Okay.
That's terrible.
Okay.
Wait,
if
wait,
you
top,
miss,
top five
listen.
protected?
Listen.
Top 5 protected.
Let's
We're gonna
listen
run
to the
through
trade again. We're gonna listen to the
Alright,
trade.
so-
Okay, I take the 28th pick. This is such a bad trade for me, but I really haven't
Yeah.
planned. 28th pick. I give you
55. Wow.
55 this year, lottery protected next year. If you don't get that pick, that converts into a top 5 first round pick. And if that doesn't convert, then you get an unprotected second rounder.
What does it mean?
If you
it
don't
converts
take
to a
this,
top
you're
five?
so dumb.
Yeah, this
What
is
does
such a
it
bad.
mean? What does it mean?
This is such a
Wait,
bad
what does it
trade.
mean it converts to a top
That means
five?
pretty much you could get like a.
This is such a
No,
bad
I
trade.
just
for
wanna-
once.
I
I
wanna-
really,
I
I really
wanna-
have a good. I really have a good.
I have my job on the line. I'm a general manager. My job's on the line.
You're
I
the
have to-
Warriors. You're
Yeah,
fine.
just
The
like-
trade.
just-
You haven't
I
taken the
really
trade
think-
yet. Just take the trade.
Okay, can you just explain it and I'll probably accept it? Okay.
Just
Okay,
read
I'm
it.
gonna-
No, what does it mean? It converts to a top five?
I'm gonna
Okay.
accept this trade.
No,
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I said
Everyone
let's
wants you to
accept
accept this, but I'll explain it again.
Okay. I understand the 55th pick.
I'll take 28.
Obviously, I get 55 and what else?
You get 55.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're going to get one pick here.
Yes.
Let's say this next year we are in the lottery.
Yeah.
We don't make the playoffs. I get that pick.
Okay.
So now you still haven't got a pick yet.
Right.
So then the next year, I have a pick that's top 5 protected.
Okay.
If
Okay.
and then if the pick stays in the top 5 and you don't get it again, then it's a second rounder.
This is
I'll take a deal.
Okay. That's what I like to see. This is a really bad trade for the Hornets, but I am Mitch Kupchak, and I just got my boy Timofey Mozgov, and so I've decided I really want to get Ili Okobo out of France And the reasoning is he can score the ball. I think he is a perfect fit next to Kemba, and if he doesn't go next to Kemba, he can start over Kemba if we get rid of him.
Wait, don't you have Malik Monk?
He can score. Exactly. Yeah, I got Monk, but I want him to have a slow process. Okobo can
So
score.
you want
I want Okobo
Monk's
to
a
play a lot.
2.
Yeah, Okobo, Walker, and Monk are all going to rotate around. I love Okobo. I think he's the best player available. I think he could be a reason that we get back to the playoffs, not this year, but next year,
Wow.
which is the reason I offered it.
Wow.
So you're going to have Monk come off the bench next year?
Yeah, he's going to be my 6 man.
And the year after that?
Or I might have Okobo, whoever develops better. One man's going to start at 2, one man's going to start at 6.
Can you want competition?
I absolutely love Okobo. Someone compared him to a lefty or to a righty James Harden yesterday. I read the comp. I was like, he's probably not that good, but he's right up there. I love Okobo.
He's up there.
I had to make this trade.
I don't think
Mitch Kupchak is uniting Mozgov and Okobo. We're making the freaking playoffs.
No way he starts
29th
on 18
pick.
this next year.
29th
Nets.
pick is owned by the Brooklyn Nets, and that is Michael Bailey for his last pick of today.
All right. Well, as you know, we just got rid of Mozgov. And so I was like, let's get a big guy to fill in once Dwight Howard leaves, once that giant contract's up. So I'm going with Mortiz Wagner out of Michigan.
Mo Wagner, good pick at 29.
Thank you.
Dylan had him on his big board. I personally did not. I still have D'Anthony Melton available, Josh Okogie, Kyrie Thomas, Jalen Brunson, and Javon Carter available. Zach, the 30th pick. Wrap us up.
So, I already got Marvin Bagley. I got Aaron Holiday for the 1 and the 3-4 fixed. John Collins. So, I'm going to take a little bit of risk here. All right. I'm going to go with
Angela Ball.
a guy who I like. No. I'm going to go with Anthony Simons.
I like that. I really like
Out of
that.
IMG Academy. He's a point guard, shooting guard. I like it. He has a lot of upside. 5-star prospect. And you know what? Let's see if he can develop.
I like that. The Hawks, can afford to risk it after getting 2 good players in Bagley and Holiday. I like that pick.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That will wrap up this year's mock draft. What is the favorite pick that you guys made for each of your teams?
For each of the teams?
Or, I'm sorry, of your 5 teams, which pick was your favorite?
I can't decide between my number 1 and number 4 pick. I love Luka Doncic, so I love getting him number 1 for the Suns. Obviously, there's the potential for him to drop lower, but I just love Doncic as a prospect. And then Boston at pick 4, I grabbed Mo Bamba. He's my second best prospect.
That was your best pick, in my opinion.
Thank you, Dan.
Terrible trade. My
Yeah, I agree. All right, Zach, favorite?
Yeah.
pick
I mean,
you made?
besides Dante DiVincenzo at 14, I'm going to go with Bagley at 3. I think it's just unbelievable.
All right.
All right, I'm going to have to go with my Wizards pick at 15, Robert
Yeah.
Williams. Just another great big to add to the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Good fit for them.
I wasn't a fan of my Trailblazers pick, but I like my Bucks pick with Zaire Smith, but then my Mavs getting Jaren Jackson. I got to go with that. And then the trade was perfect with the Sixers, so there you go.
I think my favorite pick has got to be Mikal Bridges for the Kings. And I think it's because I already got Ayton at number 1. Getting that trade with the Sixers to get a 10th pick, get Mikal Bridges, and get us hopefully back to the playoffs. Not this year, but next year. Let our guys develop. But yeah, any last comments before we wrap this episode up?
Woj needs to tweet more.
All right.
Where do you guys think? Where do you guys think that Gary Trent will go?
We talked about this a while ago.
I
We didn't
like
make a
Gary
formal bet, but we have a gentleman's bet on this that I don't think he goes in the first round. Seems very unlikely now. So,
Do you guys think
I think he's a mid-second rounder.
LeAngelo Ball will not get drafted? I'm going to say right now, he will not get drafted.
Does anybody think he will get drafted?
Anybody think so?
I think it's pretty common.
And who do you guys think will get picked first between these two? Jalen Brunson or Javon Carter? I think
I
Brunson.
had them tied for 30 for my big board, so I
Jalen
understand.
I have Brunson.
Brunson.
I think those are very comparable
I
guards.
think there's conversation for both because they're different guards. One's a defensive stud, one's an offensive guy. It depends on the team, and that's where it's going to come down. Like, if the Knicks at 36 are the first team it's thinking about, I think it goes Brunson. But if a team like the Hawks, where they just need defense, it could be Carter. So I think it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? This will be our last pod before the draft.
I think I'm going to say right now, Hamidou Diallo could be a really good pick. Let's say right now, I think he's a big sleeper.
All right.
Also, Traven Duvall.
So we will be watching the draft together. We'll probably have some live reaction tweets. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Sports Sermon. Friday, at least Dylan and I have no idea who else is coming. We'll be doing draft grades. We're working on getting Mark Quaranta back, so hopefully if he's listening to this, he hears me trying to get him before I've asked him. I'm going to ask him tonight, hopefully get him back, and it should be a good week. So thank you for listening. It's been a blast. Elio Kobo's leading the Hornets to the playoffs. Don't you dare forget it. And it'll be a great draft tomorrow night. So thank you for listening. We'll see you Friday afternoon.
Come on, Woj.